15 wins and 2 losses. That's my record with the Selkirk Omni Widebody over my last few play sessions. In this video, I'm going to break down why I feel this paddle is allowing me to play so well, and also talk about whether the $300 price tag is worth your hard-earned money. Let's get into it. Big shout out to Selkirk for sending me this paddle. However, all of the thoughts and opinions in this video are my own. Also worth mentioning, there's plenty of other reviewers that have done a great job of breaking down the technology in this paddle. I won't be focused on that. It'll really be from the perspective of how I like this paddle as an intermediate pickleball player. In terms of my paddle setup, I did choose to put the MOI weights at the 4 and 8 o'clock position. This gave me maximum stability and forgiveness while still maintaining a good amount of maneuverability for those hands battles at the net. One of the main reasons that I chose the wide body over the elongated was the overall weight of the paddle. The elongated comes in at a very heavy swing weight, which for me is difficult to maneuver and also gives me wrist issues. So if you're in that camp, I would also recommend going for the wide body. I think even as we compare it to the boomstick, the Omni is much heavier. So in my opinion, a lot of folks are going to probably prefer the wide body. However, I know there's tons of you out there that just like playing with elongated. They have that available too. A lot of the testing that I've been doing lately is with ultra power paddles. Think of the Packle Fuse or the Q2 by RPM. You have the Aereo Cyclone. I was playing really well with these paddles and failing miserably when it came to all court options like the Friday Aura or the Flick F3. Those paddles just didn't jive with my game. I had a lot of trouble even controlling them, which was the most surprising thing for me. I got so used to not having to put much effort into my drops, my dinks, my resets, that anything additional where I had to increase the motion to get the ball over the net on those types of shots was throwing me off dramatically. And so when I came into testing with the Omni, I thought that it would be a similar experience. What I found is that the Omni is a bit more powerful than it lets on. And let me explain. I think if you were to take the weights off completely, especially on the wide body, you could play with this paddle as an all-court option. But for me, once you start to add any sort of weight, it becomes on that low end of the power paddle category, which is a great place for intermediate players to be. So let's talk a little bit about the power that the Omni has, because the one thing that I found interesting in my play sessions was that I felt more and more confident hitting drives than I ever have in the past. And the primary reason for this was I could give just enough to really put my all into a shot and know that it was going to be low dipping over the net almost every time. My percentage of in shots on my drives that led to either pop-ups or at least a soft fourth shot back that was easily manageable as a fifth has to be higher than any paddle that I've ever tested with. Serving is a similar story because oftentimes I would already picture the ball going too far out because I either had the wrong paddle angle or I felt like I hit it too hard. But the Omni gave me just enough cushion to keep the ball in, but still very long at the back of the court. And again, all of this led to me playing in a much more confident way that I probably wouldn't have had I used a top-end power paddle. Let us move on to control and forgiveness. And this is where I think it's a little bit tricky to talk about the Omni without mentioning the fact that I feel the elongated is probably not the right choice for a lot of people. And this is mainly because if you look at the swing weight to twist weight ratio, essentially how heavy you have to make it in order for it to be truly forgiving and stable is not worth it. Whereas with the wide body, you can still use the 7.5 gram weights on the side, and for me in the lower position, and maintain a ton of maneuverability, stability, and forgiveness. So just keep that in mind as you're making your choice. All of my testing has been with the wide body, and that's really the one that I would recommend. Control and forgiveness for this wide body shape is outstanding. And part of the reason that I really, really love this paddle, and I think it is unique compared to a lot of other low power and all court options, is the fact that it maintains the feel of a power paddle while giving you a little bit more control of that power. I have had a preference lately of playing stiffer, hollower paddles, and most of the all court options out there are going to be softer, they're going to be dense, and that is something that just doesn't jive with my game. It might be great for you, but for me and my play style, I'm preferring stiff hollow. And the Omni gives you exactly that, only it tones down all of the power output so that you have more control of what you're trying to accomplish. Out of the box, the Selkirk Omni is equipped with Selkirk's InfiniGrit, which will give you a good amount of spin, and it will increase the overall longevity of this paddle, but it's not going to do quite as well as the likes of those top tier paddles like Honolulu with their CR series or 11624 with the Power 2. So just know that coming in, you will get longevity compared to your normal carbon peel ply, but it's not going to be the best on the market. With that being said, I found that I could generate a really good amount of spin, especially on a fresh Omni, but you have to understand this will wear out over time, again, especially compared to some of the other options out there on the market. As someone who was originally skeptical of the Selkirk Omni release, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised with this one. Not only because I have been winning so much pickleball with it, but I do believe this paddle has given me increased confidence when it comes to my drives, putaways, dinks, drops, resets. It really can do everything that I need it to as an intermediate player. And so if you're out there and you're skeptical yourself, I would definitely recommend demoing this paddle at the very least. I think you're also going to be surprised by what you see when you play with it. I understand that some of you out there are just not willing to spend that much on a single paddle. For you, there are tons of other options out there. Plenty of fish in the sea, as they say. So I can only hope you find the exact paddle that you're looking for. But I have to imagine that if you clicked into this video, there was a part of you that was a bit more interested in what this paddle could play like. And because of Selkirk's presence in the pickleball world, you could probably find one of these to demo local to you. I just wanted to end and say thank you to everyone out there watching and subscribed. It's because of folks like you that Selkirk has recognized me enough to be able to test with this paddle. So again, thank you so much, and I hope you can get out there and play some pickleball.